When I think about ERPO laws, there's tremendous potential to make a difference.
We're absolutely on the right path in Washington State.
When you take the research and the facts and turn that into effective advocacy, I think you can move the world. And I think this project is doing just that.
Extreme Risk Protection Order laws, or ERPO as they're known, are a new tool for law enforcement, for family members to use when they realize that someone in their lives is in crisis.
We've seen it happen across the country. A crisis moment can turn into a tragedy, whether it's suicide or homicide or mass shootings. So it's a really important tool that fills a gap.
ERPO laws are gaining traction across the United States because they're needed. Law enforcement and courts don't have all the tools they need to take guns away from people who are at most at risk. And what ERPO does is create a timeout. It's not a permanent prohibition. It creates a timeout for somebody who may be at risk of suicide or harm to others.
In Washington State in particular, our suicide rates are extremely high, and extreme risk protection orders are a tool that can be very effective in preventing suicide.
People are tired of seeing gun violence, gun death in their communities and their homes, and this offers a common sense solution to address those tragedies. It's a law that really puts the power into the hands of those closest to the individuals who are in need of help.
Implementation is something that really matters. We were very involved in passing these laws in these new states. But laws are not self-executing.
We can pass laws all day long and nothing will actually happen unless effective implementation is seen.
Law enforcement needs to know how to do this. Courts need to know if someone brings a ERPO to me, what do I do with it? Family members need to know that it exists.
We've been able to partner with law enforcement, to partner with advocacy organizations who are closely connected to survivors of gun violence in order to come up with creative and impactful and responsible ways to make this ERPO law come to life and translate into real, meaningful interventions that are helping people to live better lives.
It's an ongoing process to make sure that the law is actually implemented. And a very important piece of that is making sure that we're also willing to go back to the legislature and advocate for tweaks in the law as they become evident during the implementation process.
And so implementation is a way to take what the legislature has done and make it work in the world. If it doesn't work in the world, it's not saving lives.
What we're realizing in our dialogue around gun violence in this country, and it's very important, is that we don't have to live with the levels of gun violence that we do. Prevention is attainable, and prevention is attainable by applying the evidence that we know from good research.
The Extreme Risk Protection Order law, the law in Washington State, has already been able to intervene in ways that simply would not have happened before. And when talking with our systems partners who are doing this intervention on the ground, they feel very confident that it has saved lives already.
We are seeing really good anecdotal evidence that this is working. We're seeing school shootings have been stopped. We're seeing that some mass shootings have been stopped. We are also seeing that suicides are being prevented.
Identifying risk factors and providing people with the tools to intervene when those risk factors show themselves is critically important to addressing gun violence.
And in the past, we've sat around and we've waited till something terrible happens. We don't have to do that anymore. There's something that you can do proactively to save lives.